Hello friends! How are all of you doing today? Are all of you full of happiness and joy? I hope so. And if not, maybe you'll feel better after I stream a while? I don't know. I don't know if I can promise that though. How are you guys doing today? This is just gonna be a simple, chill chat stream. Let me grab a image I need for this stream. This is just vibes. All vibes all the time. So, we're going to be talking about the various Souls games today. I'm sure everyone's familiar with them at this point, right? Right around the time that after Dark Souls came out, everybody was aware of the Souls series. It just exploded, completely exploded. And from then on, it's just been a staple of gaming. To the point where it's just cliche to call something Souls-like at this point, right? Let me pull up. There we go. Good. So, I mean, you guys know it. I don't have to do something cliche like, what is a Souls game? And what can they teach us about the current state of video games? We don't need to do anything like that, right? Like, you guys know what it's about. You guys know what's going on, right? Souls games are games that are made by FromSoft. FromSoft makes some excellent video games. FromSoft sets up unique and interesting worlds. And is known for not compromising on gameplay. Now, there is the cliche that Souls games are hard. We'll discuss that in a little while, specifically when we get into Dark Souls, but first I want to talk about Demon Souls. Because that's where I started the series. Now, my style for picking up a new series back then was a bit odd. If someone told me about a series that I should play, I said to myself, okay, cool. I should go back and play the first thing that studio has ever made so I get a better idea of what sort of world they're building, what sort of development is going on, so I can learn to understand the studio better. So, when I heard about Dark Souls, I said, cool, I'll go play Demon Souls first. And I did. It was great. Demon Souls is a really interesting game. When I played it, I was wildly lost for a lot of it. I tried not to do any research. I tried not to look at anything, right? I tried not to spoil anything for myself. And in doing so, I made the game much, much harder on myself. I'm so glad I got the remake. I have not played the remake yet, but there were a lot of little things in the game that were... what's the word I'm looking for? Terrible. There were just a lot of little tiny things in the game that were suboptimal that needed to be improved on. Little quality of life things that thankfully they did actually improve later, like things like being able to run on ladders or dash up ladders and slide down them easier. Minor tweaks that felt so out of place. Better parry mechanics. But in an interesting way, the Demon Souls is a lot more open than most of the later Souls games. Demon Souls, you can more or less go to any of the Arkstones early on and have the freedom to approach them how you want. I love Dark Souls, but Dark Souls is a lot more linear than people like to think. Like, the world design is amazing. I love the interconnected world, but you really only have one path to go. And if you don't go that one path, well, you can't really progress. Like, you just don't really have a lot of options. People like to pretend there's more options than you actually have, you know? So one thing I did with all the Soulsborne games is I tried to play through my first playthrough without any assistance. And some of the battles in Demon Souls are pretty rough. Flamelooker in particularly gave me a lot of trouble. I remember Flamelooker being incredibly difficult. Hello, Relative. Flamelooker was a rough fight. Let me grab a picture of Flamelooker. You know what I should just do? Hold on. Let me just get Waterfox up here and share a browser window on that. I have that, right? I still have that set up? Probably. Nope. Okay, maybe let me just create that real quick. There we go. Let me just... I'm going to just be using this for some images. Let me shimmy to the side a bit. But yes, Flame Lurker, in particular, was a particularly just rough fight. It was not an easy fight. There's a lot of fights in that game that were hard, and it really started the theme of having gimmick fights in the games, in the Souls games. That works. I'm just setting this up for some general image referencing. There we go. You know what? This is fine. Looks fine just like this. There we are. Goody, 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 good. You ready to play that game and see if they do a Dark Souls Eldenring ASMR videos? I mean, I could be convinced. If you want more Demon Souls ASMR, or like, I could be convinced. That was a silly meme. Oh my gosh, I can't. Thank you for bringing that up. That was hilarious. That was hilarious. Like, that was my first ASMR style video. I did not have the right microphone for it. I did not have the right setup at all for it. But I'm like, you know what? Heck it. I'm just going to go through this. I took a... You loved it. Yay. I took an ulu from... I took an ulu and dragged a knife across it to get a blade, to make it sound like it was a whetstone across a blade. Do you not remember I'm asking for you before in your last... Yes, I do remember that. I forgot it was you, though. Sorry, I just... The name... But yes, I do remember you asking about that. I do. Yeah, I was scraping a knife across an ulu. You guys know what an ulu is, yes? Is it 2 L's? Yeah, it's a kitchen knife. Mine looks kind of like this one here. But the thing is, to really get good ASMR, you need a binaural microphone. You need 2 microphones that are like 6 inches apart, both recording audio, so that you can so that you can do the side to side. My mic is a professional mic. It's a studio recording mic, but it's not a mic that has... It's a mono mic. It only has 1 channel. So if I feel like if I'm going to do another... if I'm going to do another one, I feel like I should get a binaural audio, but at the same time, it probably doesn't matter that much, and I'm probably overthinking it, but I don't know. But yes, we were talking about Demon Souls first. We'll get to more of that when we get into Bloodborne, because I will be talking about my Bloodborne playthrough, because my Bloodborne playthrough... Blue Yeti? Wait. The Blue Yeti has a setting for that? Yo, hold up. I have a Blue Yeti in the other room. Yo, if you're being serious on that, I could make that happen. I did not know that. Tuzzy, let's talk later. So the Archstones in Demon Souls, you actually had a lot of freedom about which place you can go to. And that added a lot of... Let's do this. Will it work? Will this work? Kinda. Oh, that image quality is awful. Goodness. There we go. It's like you could choose... I think you had to get to level 3 of either one of the first 2 sections first, but then you had complete free reign. You could go straight to the Poison Swamp. You could wander around the castle areas. You could wander around the mining... the mines. The weird prison area. And the other weird... Heck, what was the last region? What was the last region? Heck. Heck, oh well. You had a lot of freedom in that game. And I think that a lot of people ignore that. A lot of people forget how free you were in Demon Souls and how that didn't actually come back. Storm Coast, thank you. Storm Coast. Yeah, Storm Coast was a really cool... and Storm had a fantastic boss. The final boss of the Storm Coast was that giant flying manta ray thing. That thing ruled. Like, that was a really interesting fight that forced you to think in a really different way. Aw, thank you, Relative. Skellington... To be fair, they're all Skellington towns. They're all Skellington towns if you think about it. Or if you don't think about it. It's just skeletons all the way down. Oh, it won't let me... Okay. Check me out because the tutorial boss was an occasional enemy there. I love it when games do that. I love it when a mega boss becomes a standard enemy. Like, that's just a cool thing that I like when it happens. What other games have done that? There we go. There's there we go. For a Demon Souls chat. Like, Zelda does that a couple times. I will play the remakes at some point. The remake of Demon Souls at some point, and I will stream other Souls games. I never actually played through Sekiro, but we'll get to that later. What else to say about Demon Souls? It really set the formula in motion. The idea of difficulty is something that we have to address. The idea of what it means to have a game of a certain difficulty, what it means to have what difficulty in video games means. Because every game has an intended difficulty level, right? Every game has the difficulty level that the creators think best represents the experience that they're trying to encapsulate. And a lot of players will intentionally play at the quote-unquote wrong difficulty level. A lot of players will decide that they are going to play either on a difficulty level that's too easy because they just want to relax and they're not going to get the sense of accomplishment of defeating a difficult boss, or they're going to play at a difficulty level that is too hard for them to try to prove something to themselves and their friends. They're going to try to go out of their way to do something extraordinarily hard. And Dark Souls and Demon Souls and all the FromSoft games simply do not allow that. They simply reject that entire concept. They simply say, you know what? No. You don't get to pick how hard this game is. This game is as hard as we made it, and that's what you're supposed to play. Get in there and do this. And if that's too hard for you, then you're supposed to step back and stop playing. Or keep on going until you beat it. Now, let's real quick talk about getting good. Getting good does not come from Dark Souls. Dark Souls community took it, much like it did for many other things. They took it from the Monster Hunter community. Do I have a Discord? Oh, yes, I do. It's actually in the description right here. My Discord is in the video description. At least it better be. Yeah, it is. We have a very comfy Discord, full of people who like to chill and vibe. It's a super wholesome Discord. I love it. So, yeah, the difficulty is, it is what it is. Everybody's playing on the same difficulty level. Everybody is accomplishing the same things. Everybody is going for the same tier of content, which can be restrictive. What music do I like? I really do like video game music. As dumb as that might sound, I like classical music, and I feel like video games have some of the best modern classical music. It's that's bombastic, interesting, fantastic. One of my favorite composers is Flybyno. Flybyno did the music for Endless Space, Endless Legend. I think he did the music for the new game they had. I forget what it's called. Heck, I forget. But the new one by the same studio. Beans. That's gonna bug me now. Anyways, yeah. It's good musics. Schoenberg? Not sure offhand what you're referring to. That's the location, not a music that I know. Anyways, Vanguard for a tutorial boss, fantastic. A good way to welcome you into the game and to just let you get annihilated, right? Like, Vanguard annihilates you, and he's supposed to because he sets the tone. And I love that he does that, and I think that is genuinely more effective in Demon Souls than it is in Dark Souls, because Dark Souls, you actually are expected to beat the boss. Dark Souls, you are actually expected to beat the first real boss. And that's a bit different, because Vanguard, you're expected to get annihilated, and then come see it later on and go, oh no, that thing, I know how dangerous it is, and then not wipe the floor with it and be like, okay, got that, no big problem. It's supposed to be a great moment of accomplishment. And I feel like in Dark Souls undercuts that by having you come back and fight the same boss, like, still in the intro sequence before you even leave the tutorial section. You destroy that boss. Yes, I know there's an upgraded version later on, but honestly, that one's not even that hard either. I feel like it would have been better for you not to fight that boss and have it just be mysteriously missing, or have the ground give out. Like, have the hole in the ground that appears later just appear, so the next time when you walk into that room, be like, okay, oh, it's gone, and then let you look down there at it. Just look down there at where it fell. I think that would be really heckin' cool. Anyways, but in Demon Souls, it's just there to wipe the floor with you. Phalanx, fantastic boss. These are someone's artist interpretations of the Hollow Knight style. I just love these. They're just really cool. Phalanx was also a good boss. It's the first Swarm boss. And Swarm bosses are interesting because they have to be faced differently than other bosses. Schoenberg's a contemporary classical composer. Atonal classical? I will have to look them up. That's interesting. I will have to look them up. I don't know them off the top of my head, though, no. Uematsu and John Williams are the two contemporary classical composers that I favor the most. But yeah, Phalanx is this first Swarm boss, where the boss is actually a whole bunch of little dudes. And it's honestly one of the better ones. Like, you have the Congregation in Dark Souls 3, you have the priests in Bloodborne, you have... There was one in I'm trying to think of the one in Dark Souls 2. I can't think of it off the top of my head, though. No, the Congregation is Dark Souls 2. Never mind. Yeah. No, rate the cuteness of... Okay, yes, we're doing this. We're rating the cuteness of each of the Demon Souls bosses. Vanguard, big cute. Big cutie... He's pudgy, he's gonna be huggable, right? It's a big dude who wants a hug. Phalanx, well... Honestly, they're all a bit too sharp, and they're like... They hug the middle of the slime. They don't actually want to hug you. Leechmonger is like a Swarm boss that isn't, right? Dark Souls 3 has the Wolf Knights. That's true. Well... Are the Wolf Knights really a Swarm boss, though? That's actually an interesting question. Would the Wolf Knights be considered a Swarm boss? Because most of the time it is a one-on-one fight. It's not actually fighting the group all at once. It's not a bunch of little dudes. It's just the fighting that with the one that fights you. Yeah, but as soon as there's 3 of them, 2 of them start fighting amongst each other, so it's less of that. Anyways, we will get to Dark Souls 3. We'll get to there. We'll get there. Now, has anybody really beaten Leechmonger without cheesing it? Because it's such an easy boss to cheese. Like, you have infinitely regenerating mana, which is something they took out of the later games, and honestly, I understand why. It gives the player a lot of power, and it incentivizes sitting still, which they have struggled the entire series to get players not to do. They've gone the entire series trying to get players not to sit still. And instead of doing that, they just wipe the floor with magic. And Leechmonger is an enemy that you can see it below you, and you can go down and fight it, or you can just cast spells at it for like 20 minutes and beat it. Like, that's how I did it the first time. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's an enemy. Oh no, it looks really big. Oh, it's really dangerous. But, what if I don't fight it? What if I just ignore it? Like, there's an option. I could just, you know. Armor Spider was a cool boss. It was almost a puzzle boss in how you had to fight it, just because of the way you had to organize yourself with the terrain and get past its barrage. But visually, Armor Spider is an incredibly cool boss. Like, you go into there and you just see this enormous thing staring at you from the end of the cave. Sorry for arachnophobics, but like, this thing is cool as heck. Flame Looker is extremely difficult. I love that fight. Super hard, genuinely one of the hardest fights in the game. But to my fighting style, Flame Looker was the hardest fight in that game. I had more trouble with Flame Looker than I had with Elant. And that is saying something, isn't it? I don't know, I struggled with Flame Looker a lot. The Dragon God is just a purely puzzle fight. And one of the better ones, because the Soul series has always had a couple of puzzle fights in it. And they've always been hit or miss. Like, Dark Souls has the... I know the fight in my brain, I'm just trying to think of what it's called. The one where you have to go in and fight the tendrils, where it ends up being just a little bug at the end. Like, that's another one where it's a puzzle fight. But Dragon God, I feel like, is one of the better puzzle fights. Girl Vinland is a great fight. If you don't actually defeat Girl Vinland, then you are a coward. But fight Girl Vinland and fight him in the muck. Do it. Bed of Chaos. Thank you. Thank you. Power Knight, great fight. Penetrator, forgettable. I mean, let's be honest. Penetrator is a very forgettable fight. Like, you see it, the dude's got a big lance, you just kind of go, yeah, okay, we'll beat this guy up. And then you beat it and you move on, right? Not as forgettable as Adjudicator. Like, Adjudicator is almost so forgettable that the thing that makes it most memorable is how forgettable it is. Right? Like, Adjudicator is a bad fight. Can we can all like, as a group, agree about that? Can we all agree that the Adjudicator is a bad Dark Souls fight? It's just not a good battle. Do I want to get... You know, I'm not going to bother with the Demon Souls thing. I'm just going to use this panel that we have here, because this is a nice panel. Yes. The idea behind Old Monk was repeated in Dark Souls 3. The idea where it's a forced PvP fight, and I like that idea. And I think it was actually implemented fairly well. And I think that that's reasonable. Usually I would say that forcing the player into a PvP situation is bad, right? Usually I would say that forcing the player to fight PvP if they don't want to is bad design. But in the case of the Storm King, I think it's actually quite good. Or in the case of the Old Monk, I think it's actually quite good. Same with the one character in Dark Souls 3 who does that. The one in Dark Souls 2 is bad. That's not a good implementation. Because it was literally broken. It was just literally mechanically broken. You just could not get that fight to work. Oh, the Manes of the Gargoyles. That's what those were. Fool's Idol was another really interesting fight because it really asked you to do something morally questionable. It asked you to say, hey, here is an innocent man who is not aggressive to you in a way that's obvious. And if you've played through the rest of the game, you know that if you see an NPC that doesn't attack you, you don't attack them. You don't attack somebody unless they're aggressive to you. That's the general Souls logic. Is that if they're aggressive to you, you kill them. If they're not aggressive to you, you leave them be. And Fool's Idol requires you to look at the situation and say, oh, you see, you didn't even talk to him, and he just goes, oh, don't mind me. And like, All right, later, bro. I'll come back and talk to him later. Maybe I can trade. Maybe he's a merchant at some point. But you cannot beat the boss unless you murder him. He will continue to resurrect the boss forever, unless you unalive him. And like, it felt bad because it felt like I was killing an NPC. Because, well, I was killing an NPC, a friendly NPC who I could talk to. And that's just, you know, it's not cool. The Fool's Idol fight itself is fine, and the thing is that it's so much better if it's not spoiled for you. If you have read ahead or watched a guide or seen a bunch of videos about it, the Fool's Idol fight is nothing. It's like, okay, I gotta go up here, nuke this one dude on the top floor, and then go fight her. Got it. Like, that's easy to say into a guide, right? That's easy to put into a video game guide and say, do this. It's easy to tell your friend, oh, by the way, before you go into this next fight, go kill that guy upstairs. It's so very easy to ruin that circumstance. Yes, to ruin it. Because that circumstance is good. That circumstance is actually a really good moment. If it's not spoiled for you. If it really is, okay, I'm gonna let that guy live. Oh, I can't beat the Fool's Idol. Go up and talk to him again, and he will recognize that. He'll recognize that you died to the Fool's Idol and say, I don't remember his words, but something along the lines of, yeah, I'm sorry, I won't let you kill her. And it's almost like, it's a little heartbreaking, right? It's like this person just wants to protect somebody who they care about, but you need to slay them. I don't remember the dialogue line, but like, I remember that it's there. I remember that there is an important dialogue line there, and like, without killing him, you cannot proceed in the game. And you have to make that ethical choice of saying, I know that you wish me no harm, but she does. I know that you don't want to hurt people, and me included. But by doing nothing, you are hurting. You are stopping me, and I can't allow that. Like, oh, that's an actual, like, it's not much of an ethical choice because you have to do it, right? It is something that is forced upon you, but at the same time, it feels bad to do. It's like that one NPC who ends up killing other NPCs in the home area. Like, every time you talk to him, he I don't know. If it's spoiled for you and you know what to do, it loses the impact of what's going on. Maiden Estrella does have a similar feeling, because Maiden Estrella is just good person. She is just a good being who wants to help, who is doing what she believes will help people. She does not realize that she has become a demon, because she has nothing but good intentions, and that creates a powerful moment. But it's easy to get into the video gaming mindset, right? It's easy to get into the video gaming mindset and say, oh, whoa, I just have to go in here and kill people. I just have to go in here and kill the boss. And if you stop thinking of it as a world and start thinking about it as a video game, you lose a lot of the impact that the world has. Which is why I've been which is why I'm media blackout for hacking Elden Ring. I have no idea what Elden Ring is. I have no idea what Elden Ring is going to be about. Because I don't want to. Because I want to go in there fresh and experience it the way I feel that it was intended. The way I feel that the developers actually wanted me to want me to go into it. Now, there's a good chance that's not the case, right? There's a good chance that they've adjusted their format and are going to be approaching it in a different way. I would completely understand and respect that. But at the same time, that's what's going on in the back of my brain mind. My brain mind is saying, yeah, I don't know about this. I think this could be hurt. I think I could hurt the experience both for me and for my viewers if I get spoiled on too many things. That's just something that goes through my brain mind. And the old one is a fantastic fight. The old one at the end is a very good fight. Like, if you've gotten there, you know what I mean when I say that. Like, it is a very good fight. because it is a very narratively impactful fight. And again, if you look at it and say, okay, I just gotta go, you know, deal with this and fight the boss, it creates the feeling of saying, oh, okay, whatever. If you parse it as how do I handle this situation? What should I be doing? If you actually roleplay, it's a much different situation. I think that's really what it boils down to, is treating Dark Souls as an RPG, treating Dark Souls as a role-playing game. Because when you treat it as a role-playing game, you approach situations differently than if you treat it as a Monster Hunter game. If you treat it as, I'm going to go fight the next boss, versus, what should I do in this situation? Who is here? What's going on? Let's move on to Dark Souls. Is there another Dark Souls Hollow Knight thing here? Because I will gladly, yes, I will gladly pull up all of these here. There's for Dark Souls 3. Heck yeah, we're doing all these bug styles. We're doing all of these in bug style. There's the Bloodborne one. Pull it up for later. There's Dark Souls 2. That appears to be Dark Souls 3. And Dark Souls. Good. How do I... Will it not let me zoom in? Hold up. But what if I want to zoom... Oh, this is just a small version of it. Where's the full... I could have prepared this before the stream, but I didn't, and now we all have to live with that. There we go. That's what I needed. Yeah, I already talked about the Asylum Demon. I think that the Asylum Demon was a good fight. I just think it was handled better in Demon Souls by expecting the player to die, by expecting the player to perish in the fight. It makes the fight more dramatic, more dynamic even. Let me actually do this. Yeah, that works. I'll just do this. That's perfect. By expecting you to perish and by not expecting you to beat it right away, I think that the Demon Souls initial fight, the Vanguard fight, is a better fight. Because you see the Asylum Demon, you run away. Then you grab some weak shield and some dumb weapon and be like, okay, now I have to beat this Asylum Demon. And it works because the game expects you to overcome that challenge already, and it's kind of like fast forwarding the entire situation, isn't it? Now I'm thinking about it, and I think I understand better why they're doing it. They're trying to give you an entire microcosm of the game in the first hour of gameplay, in the first half hour, really. What they're trying to do is they're trying to give you an entire microcosm of what the video game is, wrapped up in the first intro sequence. So you see the enemy, you cannot beat it. Technically you can't, I know. But you see the enemy and it wipes the floor with you, you run away from it. Then you come back right away just by walking around and doing a little tutorial stuff, and then the game says, okay, remember this boss who beat you up before? Now try again until you get it right. And it is a good setup of it. Now I'm thinking about it and I'm liking it even more. Okay, I take back what I'm saying. Because Demon Souls sets you up for failure, Dark Souls sets you up for success in that sense. Now, I don't always love it when video games do that. Fallout 4, I think, is catastrophically bad about handling this. Fallout 4 takes away the development of the world to get the player in a suit of armor with a minigun in the tutorial sequence too early, fighting a Deathclaw, fighting an endgame enemy, so that they can show you what the endgame is like. I hate that, because it takes away everything that you need to build up towards. They give you everything that you're supposed to be building up towards right away. But Asylum Demon, I think, is a lot better in that regard, because it's not burying the lead. It's not hiding what the rest of the game that's good is actually going to offer. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Asylum Demon fight actually is quite good now that I think about it more. Dark Souls also gives you a big opening hit on Asylum Demon specifically, although it's very easy to miss it. not in subsequent playthroughs, but the first time playing through, you probably don't realize that there's a dive attack. You probably don't realize that the dive attack is a thing that exists your first time playing it. My first time playing it, I stared down at it, like just kind of looked at it and tried to assess the situation, and then the Asylum Demon jumped up and hit me in the face. Like, that's just a thing that it can do. And then, yeah, situation is suddenly changed. So, yeah, you can get the plunging attack, but like, your first time playing the game, you might not. Also, real talk, I just want to tell you guys a fun story. My first time playing Dark Souls, I missed the Estus Flask. I did not get the Estus Flask. I did apparently some sort of weird glitch where you can trigger the boulder that opens the door to the NPC that gives you the only healing item in the entire game. Again, the only healing item in the entire game is given to you by this one dude behind a wall. My first time playing the game, I go up, I trigger a sequence that knocks down that wall. I don't look behind the wall. I go forward, and the door that's supposed to be locked up there had despawned. The locked door that you're supposed to talk to the other NPC to get the healing item and get some background story first wasn't there, so I kept on going. I was halfway through the first zone of the game. I was halfway through the Undead Burg, wondering when I would actually get a healing item before I looked it up. Yeah, turns out the game just didn't decide to give it to me. Turns out I just didn't get it. Turns out, whoopsie doodle, I didn't get healing item. And you know what? I'm kind of proud that I kept on playing with the game. I'm kind of proud that I actually managed to get pretty far without the healing item. But, whoops. I was like most of the way to Taurus Demon. And I'm looking it up like, wow, there's got to be something. There's got to be, it's like, when do I start getting the grass or something to heal? It's like, no, I just straight up missed the Estus Flask. Seriously. That was the thing that legit happened to me. Taurus Demon, I think, is a... It would be a good fight if you only had to kill the archers the first time you played it. If you only had to kill the archers that harass you through that fight the first time that you do the battle, it would be a good fight. The game, there it is. The game thought I didn't need it. The game knew I didn't need it, and I will be perfectly honest with you. I do wish I still had that save file, because if I still had that same file, I would try to do a challenge run on Dark Souls of Estus lists. I've done a challenge run on every Dark Souls game. I've done solo, except for Bloodborne. I've done a challenge run for every Dark Souls game of doing the soul level 1 run. I like it. I like the soul level 1 run. It's fun. It's puts you into a completely different mindset of what is a valuable item. And doing it in Dark Souls 2 is just absolutely pulling teeth. Dark Souls 2 soul level 1 run is painful. But Dark Souls 3 is actually made for it. Like, Dark Souls 3, you can tell that they actually wanted people to do a soul level 1 run. And they set up the game so that it was possible and had enough tools for you to do it. Which is pretty chill. Pretty chill of them, gotta say. The Bell Gargoyles is a good fight. Kappa Demon is an absolute train wreck. Oh my goodness, Kappa Demon. Kappa Demon is very hard for the point in the game where you fight it. For the point in the game where you have to face the Kappa Demon, it is a lot harder than anything you've had to deal with, and it's a much different situation than anything you've had to deal with. Nothing else has put you in a close quarters combat, and the only thing that really prepares you for that is the corridor that leads up to it. It is the only time you really are in a close quarters combat fight, and in those close quarters, you can walk backwards. You can just walk backwards and trap the enemies in a door. I guess it's not entirely true. The first close quarters fight you have is going up to the Bell Gargoyles, where you have that hallway with like 30 ghouls in it. But again, you do the same thing. You back up, you choke point them, and you fight them. You're never forced into a close combat situation until you deal with the Kappa Demon. And I feel like they could have had it, maybe you had dropped down into a section before then, just to get you more in the mindset of how do I deal with this? How do I cope with a enemy that is in a close quarters combat situation. But they don't. They don't even offer you that a chance to learn, which makes Kappa Demon so much harder. It really does. Absolutely brutal fight. Mostly because the fight's decided in the first, like, 3 seconds. You go in, and you have 3 seconds to establish the fight, or you lose. And if you lose, it's not that bad of a walk back, but 3 seconds to lose, and then 60 seconds, 70 seconds to get back to the fight is frustrating. It's frustrating. You feel like you get back there, you die instantly, and you say to yourself, man, I wish I hadn't died instantly, because I really want to try to get this fight down. Because you don't even have a chance to learn. You don't even have a chance to learn from your mistakes, really. And Kappa Demon becomes a regular recurring, like, honestly, most of these enemies do. Like, Asylum Demon becomes is a boss that appears later. Taurus Demon and Kappa Demon are both become just regular recurring enemies. Those just, like, show up and hang out in various zones. Moonlight Butterfly is probably one of the most beautiful Souls bosses in the entire game. And the entire zone that they're in, that entire Enchanted Forest motif, is beautiful. Like, that entire zone is gorgeous. And I love the Luna Moth aesthetic. Gaping Dragon, cool fight, weird enemy. But it really helps. It's the first giga-sized boss that you fight in Dark Souls. Everything else you fight up to then is like... Kappa Demon is just a little bit bigger than you. Bell Gargoyles are a reasonable size. Taurus Demon is a big boy, but like... You're in such a... The area that you fight him, you can control the area, right? Like, he doesn't push you around, he doesn't body you. Asylum Demon, in the first instance, no, doesn't really... It's something you have to deal with. But Gaping Dragon is the first really big boy that takes up the entire area that you're fighting in. And that makes it a much more difficult battle. Quelaag, fun fight. Honestly, not that hard. Quelaag is actually an excellent difficulty level. The Quelaag fight is a fantastic difficulty because it's hard without being oppressive. It's hard but easy to learn. It's a really good introduction into Souls games, and even though you've had to deal with a couple of mess before it, I think Quelaag is one of the better fights for teaching you how to deal with things in Dark Souls. You know what I'm saying? Stray Demon is just the upgraded Asylum Demon. It's just the actual Asylum Demon fight. And Iron Golem, I think, would be an interesting fight without... What's his name? But there's a guy who helps you fight Iron Golem who can basically solo it himself. And most people just opt for that because, well, why wouldn't you, right? It's a cool fight, though. Like, Iron Golem is a cool fight, don't get me wrong. But it's one of those things where it's, like, so easy to trivialize it. It's so easy to trivialize the fight if you already know what's going on. But I guess that goes back into being spoiled, right? That goes back into being spoiled about the fight. So, okay. I'm gonna be honest with you, friends. I don't think that Ornstein and Smo is that hard of a fight. There's my hot take for the day. I don't think that Ornstein and Smo is that hard of a fight. So many people have so much trouble with it. People treat it like it's the biggest hurdle in the entire game, in the entire series. Like it's some absolutely impenetrable... Keep both of them on your screen. That's all you have to do, is keep both of them on your screen at the same time. It's not necessarily an easy fight, but if you can just keep track of where both of them are, it's not that bad. Just, if you know where both enemies are visually, if you have them both on your screen, you can deal with anything they throw at you. The only time you'll die in that fight is when Ornstein gets behind you, or if you turn your back on Smo. That's the only time that things are going to get hairy. If you keep both of them in your camera, and yeah, you will have to give up a few good openings to keep them in your camera. You will have to intentionally choose to ignore certain openings so that you can keep your eyes on both of them. But you have to do that. If you do that, you'll be fine. If you do that, you're gonna be okay. I I helped people in that so much because for me it was a fairly easy fight because I didn't have much difficulty with it personally. And time after time, I would watch people hyper-focus and lock on target with one of them and have the other person just either run them through or crush them into the ground. And, like, I wish I could explain this to everybody. It's the same in every Souls fight where you have to fight multiple enemies. Keep all of them on your screen at once and you will get through it. It's not as bad as people like to pretend that it is, as people like to push it as. So, that's my hot take for the day. Ornstein and Smo, not that bad. Not as bad as people like to think. And Gwendolyn, Gwendolyn. It's a fun fight. it's a fun fight once you understand what the mechanics are. That's all. We can go up and pound from there. So these, yeah, that's the mini versions. Yeah, okay. Sorry, just looking ahead to plan out how anything, I guess. Okay. Priscilla is weird because it's a fight because you never actually fight her. Like, she shows up as a boss, but you never actually fight her if you're a halfway decent person. So, you know, you just kind of go, oh, hey, what's up? And then, you know, emote, bow, walk on. Every respectable person is that. Your hot take is that Dark Souls should have an easy mode option on the remasters? Like, I was talking before about that. The games are made for a target difficulty level, and the reason that people like Dark Souls is because the sense of accomplishment that you get for defeating them. That's the thing, is that you get a sense of accomplishment for defeating a Souls game, and if people lower the difficulty level because they're struggling on a fight, instead of pushing through and practicing and getting better and doing it over and over again, learning the fight, learning the intricacies, if people just lower the difficulty so that they can just pass it, they're never going to feel that accomplishment. Dark Souls is good and popular because of it has no difficulty level. Because the people who beat it have spent the time, the effort, the hours that they really, most people would get frustrated and either give up or push the difficulty down to get past a boss if they are struggling. Dark Souls is famous for giving you that sense of triumph because it doesn't let you cheat yourself out of that sense of triumph. I'm going to repeat that. Dark Souls is good at instilling the sense of triumph in the player by not letting the player sidestep the route necessary to achieve that sense of triumph. Now, you can argue accessibility options. Now, if you're arguing and saying that it should have an easy mode for an accessibility option, if your argument is that the game should have an easy mode so that people who are physically incapable of having fast reflexes have a way of playing it, now we have a discussion. That's something we can talk about. But the thing is, if it's just so that it's easier, then it won't have the same effect. Like, if God of War only had a hard mode option, if God of War was only available at hard difficulty, it would have probably garnered the same reputation as Dark Souls because because the game intends for you to beat it at a certain tier and accomplish it. I think the best comparison is Monster Hunter, honestly. Like, Dark Souls rips off so many things from Monster Hunter. It really does. It absolutely does. Like, let's not pretend that the majority of Dark Souls mechanics are not ripped straight from Monster Hunter, right down to the way it handles stamina. But and large boss fights. And in Monster Hunter, if you are struggling at a boss, you have to keep on going, or find someone to help you with it. And if you find someone to help you with it, you will probably go back and fight that boss again for practice and learn it and learn what it takes to get through it. You think of difficulty as an accessibility option? Well, I will say that it would hurt the game to have an optional easier difficulty. That's one thing I will state with fairly definitively. It would hurt the game to have an optional easier difficulty because then you are not encouraging players to accomplish something, to feel like they've triumphed, to feel like they've overcome something when they could just set the difficulty lower, or when somebody else could do it with just a lower difficulty setting. Now, You could argue that that is worth it. You could argue that that is worth it, and it is worth hurting the game to give the players that option. But I do think that you do hurt the game. I do think that you hurt the game in a explicit way by denying it, that by allowing the difficulty choice, by not denying the difficulty choice. The choice to deny difficulty is a very carefully constructed one, and I think it's fine to set this game down and walk away. Like, it's fine to set the game down and bow out and say, okay, this is beyond me, and I accept that, and to walk away. Because that's part of what makes the accomplishments so great. And I did that for Sekiro. I'll talk about it in a little bit, but I bowed out of Sekiro. It was too hard for me. I'll explain why later on, because there's a very specific reason that I don't think is entirely my fault. But yeah, I bowed out of Sekiro, and I'm okay with that. I don't have to have beaten Sekiro, and if it had a lower difficulty option, I would have put it on, and I would not have felt the accomplishment sense. The argument for... Okay, so Fire Emblem with casual mode is a little bit different because that's there for a narrative reason. Actually, hold on, let me see what the other statements are. Okay, I will agree with Buck. The changes for the developers to fix broken mechanics, agility in Dark Souls 2, and poise in Dark Souls 3. Agreed. And I would say arguably hexing in Dark Souls 2 as well. Yeah, there were just some things in that game that were bad, that we can acknowledge as mistakes. Yes, Blue Elf. As somebody who has to deal with accessibility, my take is that easy mode in most cases is not what some disabled people want, because it ends up being HP sponges. Instead, we would prefer better controllers, better keybinds, more ways to use the parts of our bodies and play it at the intended level, if that makes sense. That does make sense. And thank you for your input, because you actually do have a disability. So that's actually is a first-hand account from someone who's making a statement. So, I thank you for chiming into that conversation. I think I do want to address the comparisons that you made, Eric. Though I think Eric Jacobson. I think the comparison points that you made are very interesting, and I want to dissect them, because Fire Emblem with casual mode is about the narrative aspect of it. Fire Emblem casual mode is about not losing characters, of not having characters permadie. It's not about having the players, Oh, you're Iggy? Oh, I didn't realize that was Iggy. I'm sorry. I always see you in chat, and I never made that connection. You've definitely told me. I'm sorry. But Fire Emblem is a narrative thing. Fire Emblem is a narrative change so that you don't permadeath your characters. And Celeste, I think, is exactly what Blue Elf is saying. Blue Elf Celeste does not make the game easier, and I think that's actually very important to point out. Celeste's assist modes, unless you press the extra jump button, the slowdown, the reassignment, the coyote time, the assist mode in Celeste still requires you to actually complete all the challenges that Celeste gives you. And I think that's what Blue Elf is saying. Is better controllers, the ability to play with parts of your bodies and play it at the intended level, because that's what Celeste does. Celeste gives you the option of playing a very difficult platformer to people who have motor control or slower mental assessment concerns, but through its assist mode. Now, what if Dark Souls had an assist mode? Now you're onto something. Instead of giving Dark Souls an easy mode, give it an assist mode that slows down the enemy attacks but doesn't reduce the amount of damage they do. That gives you, your dodge, but lets you time it better through the assist. That maybe flashes at a moment so that so you can help better find the reads. That I would accept. That's not an easy mode, that's an assist mode. I can get behind that. You know what? I'm behind that. I accept that. Yeah, that actually sounds good. I think that would be a very good way of handling it. Grey Wolf Sif, fun fight. Like, it feels bad, and it feels forced to be bad. Honestly, like, beating up Sif and having it limp at the end and not having the option to spare is like... It works. It feels bad, but it also feels kind of ham-fisted, right? It kind of feels a little bit forced, in my opinion. That's my hot take. That's my take of the day, is that the Great Wolf Sif fight feels bad in a way that feels too obvious that they're playing at your heartstrings. Four Kings is a good fight, except for the DPS aspect of it. If it wasn't a DPS check, it would be a good fight. Unfortunately, it is just how quickly can you do damage to enemies. And it's a great fight in Soul Level 1. Real talk. Four Kings at Soul Level 1, amazing fight. I love it. Fantastic. Very difficult fight at Soul Level 1. Lots of fun. Now, I'm going to give Pinwheel a break here. I am actually going to give Pinwheel a break, and people are going to have questions about this, so hear me out. Pinwheel is not that bad of a boss. You just faced him at the wrong level. You're supposed to face Pinwheel much earlier in the game. You're supposed to backtrack and go to Pinwheel after you, before you go into Sen's Fortress. That's when you're supposed to fight Pinwheel, because that's when Pinwheel's level scaled to. That's when he's appropriate, and that's where he is a good boss. You're supposed to go down there and clear out that area before moving on to Sif's Cathedral, because that will give you the Rite of Kindling that will let you kindle up to 15 Estus Flask charges before you go into Sen's Fortress. Unfortunately, most people don't do that. Most people ignore that area because they go down there early, get their butts kicked, and say, okay, I'll come back here never, and don't go back there until it's time to fight Nito. But if you fight Pinwheel at the time that he's level appropriate, it's a good fight. I recommend it. I genuinely recommend that. Go fight Quelaag, and then go fight Pinwheel. Go fight Quelaag, then go fight Pinwheel, and see what that boss fight is supposed to be. Because when you fight the Pinwheel at an appropriate item level and equipment level and experience level, not a bad fight. Genuinely not a bad fight. Gravelord Nito is actually a pretty cool fight, though. It's just a fun fight all around. Yeah, the Fire Demon is just a reskin of Asylum Demon and Stray Demon. Honestly, terrible fight. Does nothing interesting aside from it being immune to pyromancy. Like, the only interesting thing it has going on is that you can't kill it with pyromancy. It's just a bad fight. Ceaseless Discharge is a good fight, but again, it's very easily spoiled. If you have read online how to beat Ceaseless Discharge the easy way, then you have worn yourself out of what could be an interesting fight. Now, unfortunately, it ends up not being that good of a fight because it has super clipping issues. Ceaseless Discharge will clip through the mountain to get you, and that's honestly does not look good. Just looks dumb, but I don't know. It's in a good narrative fight. Like, storyline-wise, it's a cool fight. Like, who is Ceaseless Discharge when you learn who they are is actually a very interesting moment. Meta Chaos we discussed earlier. Centipede Demon is just whatever. It's just a centipede, whatever. Artorias is one of the best fights in the Soul series. Real talk. Like, seriously? Sanctuary Guardian is one of the best beast fights in the entire series. Knight Artorias is one of the best fights in the entire series. Right up there with Lady Maria. Knight Artorias and Lady Maria are, I think, two of the best fights in the entire Soul series. Like, they're just fun. They're great. And honestly, my biggest regret for both Artorias and Maria and the three Spectre guys in Bloodborne is that I have never wished so much to go back and refight an enemy. If you beat up a Zenogre, you can go back and fight another Zenogre, right? Like, if you beat up Zenogre, you can go fight Zenogre again and have a good time. That's great. But, boy, with Knight Astorius and the Spectres, and like you fight them, you go, wow, that's a great fight. I really want to do it again. You can't. You just cannot. You need to either restart a new save and play like multiple hours of gameplay to get back to them, or in Dark Souls 2 you can use a bonfire aesthetic, which honestly is a good compromise, but that is still suitable for the world. But man, yeah, Dark Souls 2 solved that, absolutely. But Knight Astorius is a really good fight. That is a fight of somebody who is close to your level. They are better than you, but they are fighting you with your own skill set, with your own move set, and it's really cool to experience. Calamite, just a neat little bean. Like, whatever. Like, yeah, it's a dragon lad. You fight the dragon lad. Not my favorite dragon fight, but a good optional mega boss. And Manus was a interesting fight. Manus was pretty cool, especially if you got Sif in the fight with you. That was really awesome. Gwyn, Lord of Cinder, honestly, great fight. Just a good fight, yo. I need to get those zoomed up. But the funny thing is, I have spent... A lot of people think that Dark Souls 2 is the worst Dark Souls game. A lot of people believe that. You know? I don't know if it's my favorite, but I have spent more time in Dark Souls 2 than most of the other games combined. Like, Dark Souls 2 is a good game, guys. It's different. It's a much different game than Dark Souls 1 and 3. And Dark Souls 3 is, I think, honestly the biggest different one, and much worse because of it. Dark Souls 2 is a good game. People underestimate it, people don't respect it. I think that's really what it comes down to. People don't respect Dark Souls 2 because it's not what they expected, and it's not necessarily what they wanted. That doesn't make it bad, though. That doesn't make it a bad game. That doesn't make it a bad video game. And I think we need to recognize that, because Dark Souls 2 is a good game. It has a few glitches, it has a few issues. I'm not saying it's perfect, but go back and play Dark Souls 2 again. Go back and play Dark Souls 2 without a shield. Go back and play Dark Souls 2 and focus entirely on the power stance, which, honestly, fantastic thing. I love the power stance. Power stance, the Cestus. Do it. A power stance Cestus run feels fantastic. It was made by the same studio, but with a different lead developer. Miyazaki was not on that project, but it was made by the same studio. Just to clarify, yeah. Definitely changed things, though. It changed things and people didn't like what it changed. And at first, I didn't like some of it either, but as I played it and replayed it, and found myself replaying it again for the third time and going, wait a minute, why do I keep coming back to this? Why do I keep coming back to this game? I like this. I'm having fun. Weird. Why am I having fun? It's as dumb as it sounds, right? It really is as dumb as it sounds. But this surprise, this genuine surprise that, like, wait a minute, this rules. Last Giant is a good introductory boss, like seeing it and beating it up, like, because it's on its last leg. Literally, it's on its last leg. And trying to beat it up is sad. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that Dark Souls 1 is indifferent to you. Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls are kind of indifferent. They don't care that you're there. The player is not important in the scope of the world. You are not the Dovahkiin, the chosen Dragonborn. You are not the Child of Prophecy. You are not the magically powered youth in high school. You are just one more scum. You are just another piece of the world passing through here before you perish. You are nothing, you will amount to nothing, and the world is really ready to ignore you. The world is ready to do something even worse than kill you. It's willing to ignore you. And the boss design and the fights feel like that. They feel like a world where you are another pest. And they lost that so much. They lost that so hard in Dark Souls 3. Dark Souls 3 tried to hit that note and say, you are just another Ash. But everything in the world revolves around the player. And I don't know if I can accurately describe this, but in Dark Souls 3, everything is waiting for you to show up. Every enemy is looking at the door waiting for you to arrive and to fight you. In Dark Souls 2, something about the enemy placement, the world design, and the organization of it feels like the game would ignore you. It feels like you are not important. And yeah, for a lot of players, I think that might have been a reason that a lot of players didn't like it, was because they wanted to be important, but the entire narrative of Dark Souls 2 is that you're not. The entire narrative of Dark Souls 2 is that even if you beat the game, you are still not important. Even if you defeat the game, become, God Emperor, and reign for 1,000 years, in the greater scheme of time, you are still not important. Dark Souls 2 is incredibly nihilistic. Dark Souls 2 is a very nihilistic game, and I kind of love that about it. It feels good in a weird sense for a game to tell you that, for a game to have the feeling that you are not the end-all be-all of the world. Like, that's one of the core things of video games, right? Save the princess and defeat the enemies. But in Dark Souls 2, you are just another piece of trash passing through the aqueduct. And it makes a statement. It makes a statement as an artistic piece. It makes a statement as an art piece. And I think that people should respect that. I think that more people should respect what that means. Just to the video games industry on the whole. I can think of a few other games that do that. Very, very few, though. There are very few games that do that. And the only other one I can think of off the top of my head is... what's it called? Heck. Spec Ops. Spec Ops does that as well in the Spec Ops The Line, where you are trash passing through the world, and the game is not there for your glory. The game is there to show you sorrow and pain in a way that is meaningful and tragic but beautiful at the same time. Not a lot of games can pull that off, and even fewer are willing to try. But Dark Souls 2 does, and it works so well. It works so well because you feel like you want to accomplish something. You feel like you want to be there. I've heard that Nier does that as well. Yeah, that's fair. And I have not played Automata. I'm working through a playthrough of Replicant right now, watching my favorite streamer play it, and I'm looking forward to experiencing more of that world. Pursuer is a cool boss. Like, it shows up an annoying number of times, but when you finally defeat it, you really do get this "why won't you just die? Why won't you finally die?" moment, and accomplishing that is cool. Also, it's a good fight. Old Dragon Slayer is what? You know what, Waterfox? You know what? You have. It's not even showing up for you guys. Oh, okay. Waterfox is asking me to update, and I was going to actually... Sure, Waterfox, update. Go for it. Interrupt my stream? You know what? Fine. Go ahead and update. Go ahead. I'll wait. We're all waiting for you, Waterfox. Oh, new release? Okay. Oh, you can set your... Okay, nice. Let's see what you changed, okay? The default theme, Lepton, has been updated. Oh, thanks for that. Okay. Anyways. Sorry. Just okay. Okay, it's, you know, don't worry about it. Old Dragon Slayer is an incredible fight. It really is. Old Dragon Slayer is an amazing fight. Just the way it pits you against an old foe. And it does so in a meaningful way. Like it's not the same enemy, right? Like that is not Ornstein. It is somebody who fought under Ornstein. It is somebody who fought under Ornstein and wears a set of Dragon Slayer armor. Because, well, they're trying to reclaim a piece of glory in this dying and desolate world as well. They're doing the same thing that you are. Ruined Sentinels wasn't the great fight, honestly. It's just kind of awkward. Belfry Gargoyles is just them sort of returning the concept of the original Dark Souls fights. But the Lost Sinner is a real good fight. Lost Sinner kind of almost fills that Astorius level of combat scenario, and it just feels good to be in. Executioner's Chariot is I think the only puzzle fight in this game. Is that the only puzzle fight? I think that's the only puzzle fight in the game. I want to say it is. Okay, not counting Ava's pet. Not counting Ava. But if you don't count Ava, yeah, then Executioner's Chariot is the only puzzle fight in Dark Souls 2. And it's fine. It works. Skeleton Lords is better. That's what it was. Skeleton Lords is the other Swarm fight that I was thinking. That was the Dark Souls 2 Swarm fight that I was thinking. Yes, Congregation was Dark Souls 2 as well, but Skeleton Lords was the one that I was thinking of. There are 3 bosses, and they throw hundreds of skeletons at you. It's cool. It's spectacle. It's spectacle in a game that usually doesn't rely on spectacle, because Dark Souls 2 relies on this dreariness and this aesthetic of where spectacle doesn't fit in, right? If you had God of War style spectacle in Dark Souls 2, it would kind of undercut the actual story of Dark Souls 2. But the Skeleton Lords gives you that spectacle while still staying true to the vision of the game. Does that make sense? Skeleton Lords is a good fight, is what I'm saying. Covetous Demon is fine. Mytha actually is a pretty good fight. That's actually a cool fight, especially the way you have to prepare for it. And the Old Iron King is a good big boss. Smelter Demons are annoying. That's one of the few fights that's not in fun. And then you have Nausicaa, which is similar aesthetically to Quelaag, but combat-wise, vastly different. It fights so differently. Prowling Magus is it's a fight that people hated, and they're wrong to hate it. It's a fight that people hated because they were playing the game wrong, and they were wrong to hate it. Genuinely. Like, I say that genuinely. People who hate Prowling Magus don't understand what skill that fight is trying to test you on. Because it doesn't test your ability to fight, a giant enemy. It doesn't test your ability to fight a single elite. It tests your ability to deal with a swarm that is intentionally difficult to deal with. It's, can you parse and process this battle? And that's not easy, frankly. And the game has plenty of big bosses to fight, right? The game has plenty of big gigabosses for you to deal with, for you to push through. So, Prowling Magus is a fight that expects you to do something different. It's a fight that says, okay, now show me that you can do this. Dark Lurker is a cool fight too. It's hard. but Dark Lurker is a cool fight. Looking Glass Knight I don't like. I do not like Looking Glass Knight because I feel like what the Looking Glass Knight is trying to do is just done better, both by Dark Souls 1 or Demon Souls and Dark Souls 3. They both accomplish what Looking Glass Knight is trying to do in a way that just functions better, straight up. It's the PvP aspect. Looking Glass Knight can summon players out of his shield to help him, but it's practically broken. You can very easily go the entire battle without seeing it happen, or having it happen with a NPC as opposed to an actual human player, even if players are trying to queue for it. Like, it just is, it's a mess. It's a bit of a mess. Demon Song is actually a cool thing as well. And Vendrick is just a tragic figure. When you see... Vendrick is honestly kind of the best icon of Dark Souls 2. It is not some beautiful and glorious lord. It is a empty husk of that was once a man or a giant, wandering around broken and defeated. It doesn't even notice you. Vendrick does not even notice you walk in. And that is, again, what Dark Souls 2 does that works. Ancient Dragon is not a fight. Anybody who fights the Ancient Dragon is a bad person and should go to, yeah, no, just should go away. Giant Lord's a cool fight. Nashandra, the final boss. Oh yeah, these guys over here. Power of Vargan's... I don't remember that fight. I remember Sin. Sin the Giant Dragon. And Aldia. I should go and play Dark Souls 2 again. It's just a fun game. Oh gosh, the Fog Knight! Oh man, that fight was cool as heck. Okay. Why aren't you... No, what? Okay. Give me back the things I was looking at. We're in Dark Souls 3. This is a Twitter link. Sure, why not? We'll go to Twitter. I don't want to go to Twitter anymore. I'm done with Twitter. No, I guess it really is actually going to be a Twitter link. Heck. That's from the other stream. Alright. Dark Souls 3 is so different from Dark Souls 2, and I think it's honestly for the worse. Hate to say it, but like, Dark Souls 3 is crisp in its combat, crisp in its movement, but it doesn't feel like a Souls game in a lot of ways, because it feels too refined. It doesn't have as much of that weird sideways moving awkward angles that awkward mental angles the Dark Souls 1 and 2 and Demon Souls have. Like, it feels too formulaic, I guess is how I'm going to phrase it. Dark Souls 3 feels formulaic, moving from A to B, B to C, C to D. Even the parts that are less linear feel like it's following the formula of moving forward and pushing through to the next boss, then beating the boss to repeat. And you could make the argument that Dark Souls 1 and 2 do that too, but in Dark Souls 3, I feel like it loses some of the charm that the others had. I don't know if I can describe it well, but I mean, as a game designer, I need to do that, right? Okay, let me see if I can... I think it's that it feels too organized. I think it's that it feels extremely organized in how you are meant to approach and assess every single battle. I think it's that there's no jank, or less jank in the world, in the design. It's sanitized in a way that isn't actually sanitary, but it feels more laid out than Bloodborne or Demon Souls. It feels more like a AAA game and less like a plucky studio going out and doing what they want to. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to anybody but me? Is that... I don't know. That's what I'm thinking. That's how I feel. It's a good game. It's fun. It has some amazing twists. Honestly, some of the twists in that game are phenomenal. But... I don't know. It's too polished to feel like a good Souls game, I guess is one way of phrasing it. The weapons are sort of homogenized as well, that's true as well. So, Gundyr, fine. Vort of the Boreal Valley, fine. Curse Rotted Greatwood, okay, yeah, you have a little bit of a gimmick, that's fine. It's just so many of them feel unweird. Like, Crystal Sage is just an enemy that shoots at you and teleports around. Deacons of the Deep is just a big swarm. It's just a swarm of enemies. But it's not... It doesn't stand out the way that the Cathedral does. It doesn't stand out the way that the Skeleton Lords do. It doesn't... It's just a swarm of lads that is you have to push through. Abyss Watchers is a good fight. I will give Abyss Watchers full credit. Abyss Watchers is a fantastic fight. That is a very good fight that's fun, engaging, tells a story as a part of the fight itself. I love it. Good fight on that one. Wolnir is a pretty good fight too. And the old... Who's the old Demon King? Is that the guy underground? Oh yeah, Dancer of the Boreal Valley is pretty, but... Pond of Sullivan is a good fight that feels... I don't know, I want to say it feels too polished, but I feel like that's the wrong phrasing of it. It doesn't feel like it has the same inspiration that Dark Souls 1, 2, and Bloodborne do. Or even what I've seen of Sekiro, for that matter. But it's good. Like, the Pond of Sullivan fight is a good fight. It's a hard fight. You struggle through it, you push through it, you accomplish it, you feel good about yourself. Why do I feel that it's lacking when I put it... Why would I not put Pond of Sullivan alongside with King Allant, Old King Allant? Why would I not put Pond of Sullivan alongside... Gwyn, I guess, even. Well, I guess Gwyn is sort of in a special case, but like... I'm struggling. I am genuinely struggling to put my brain-mind thoughts into words right now. Apparently they messed up, they intentionally cut things from Osidos. Osidos was supposed to be holding a baby. His arm is constantly set as though he's cradling a child. Until halfway through the fight, when the child dies, and I think they just did that for ratings. I think they just couldn't publish their game in a couple of different countries if they actually show a child die as a result of the player's actions. So Osidos, it has a baby in his arms, and you can hear it in the game. You can actually hear the baby crying. But in the final cut of the game, the baby is invisible. It's just not there. And when the baby dies in the second phase of the fight, well, he drops it and goes all out to fight you. But the reason why he's going all out to fight you, YouTube says I have one viewer right now. My goodness. The reason he goes all out to fight you is because you killed the child. And I think that they had to cut that. I think they just had to cut that for legals. I think they had to cut that for legal reasons. Yeah, YouTube says I have one viewer. If you're watching, thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Nameless King was a good fight. I'll give that fight full marks. Though I still say that was what was it? There was a huge question about who the Nameless King was, and is that, like... I've heard everything from Solaire to, Ornstein. Like, I've heard a whole bunch of different answers for who the Nameless King could be. Champion Gundyr, honestly, is amazing because of that. Osato smashes the baby as part of his phase 2 transition. I believe because the baby has passed. He throws down the enrage of them being dead, I believe. Not that he kills them. Their death is caused by the player. And, well, you can't draw a sword against an infant in modern video games. It's illegal. You're not allowed to do that. Probably would have gotten an AO rating in multiple countries, including in Australia, Germany. Would have been completely banned, actually, in Germany and in China, now that I think about it. Yeah. So they made it invisible and said, you know what, don't worry about it. The area where you see Champion Gundyr is incredible. That was an immaculate moment, where you first see Champion Gundyr. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody playing, but it's good. And Soul of Cinder is an amazing fight. Like, no one's really going to deny that Soul of Cinder is an amazing fight. It's just good. It's just a really good battle. The Soul of Cinder fight and what you have to do to fight it is that one moment, there we go, where you hear the music bring in the themes, the musical themes from Dark Souls 1. It brings a tear to your eye. It's just incredibly powerful. Dark Eater Meteor is a jerk. That's all I have to add to that. But, Sister Freda, it was a good fight. That was a really fun fight. But, like... yeah. That was... no, I'm not gonna soften that with anything. It's just a good fight. That is just a really good battle. It's this game's equivalent of the Artorias fight, or the hecking... what's their name? Beans. Maria fight. It's this game's big fight against somebody who is your size, and yeah, it's a good fight. That's a very good fight. She's almost a carbon copy of Maria. I would argue that the mechanics of Bloodborne make the Maria fight better than the Sister Frida fight, but they're both very good fights. I will fully grant that. Cute. Alright. Yeah, Bloodborne is where the game said, but what if you didn't have a... what if you didn't have a shield? What if we built the entire game to make you push forward? Actually, when... you know, I'm gonna check something. When did Demon Soul, Bloodborne come out compared to Doom? That's actually what I want to measure it against. Doom actually came out a good chunk before it, didn't it? Oh, Doom came a year after that. Oh, you know, oh, fair enough. Because it feels a lot like the Doom 2016, where they encourage you to push forward. They encourage you to move on and push forward into combat and not sit back. Now, Doom did that as a response to cover-based shooters, where you sat behind cover and waited for your health to regenerate and said, no, if you want your health to regenerate, push forward. Get in there and fight. And that's great. But in Bloodborne, they do that by saying, you don't have a shield, and the easiest way to heal is to get in there and fight. Bloodborne is custom tailored to make the player aggressive. You are supposed to be aggressive as the beasts themselves. It's explicit. It's both explicit in the text and in the mechanics, and the way it teaches you that as a player is beautiful. It's incredibly well done. And I think that is what I want to see that out of Elden Ring. And something they backslid into in Dark Souls 3, by the way. I'm going to try to do Elden Ring with no shield. As far as I can, honestly. I might not be able to, or maybe I'm expected to. I don't know. I don't know what the game's going to be like. But I'm going to go into Elden Ring with the thought process of not using a shield and try to play it like Dark Souls 2. Because Dark Souls 2 shieldless is how the game... I don't know if it's how it's meant to be. I'm going to say it. Dark Souls 2 is meant to be played shieldless. Much like Bloodborne is. Except Bloodborne, you have to do it, whereas Dark Souls 2, it's incentivized, and a lot of players didn't take that incentive. It's incentivized to play shieldless in Dark Souls 2, but a lot of players didn't take that incentive. So, for Dark Souls, for Bloodborne, you must push forward if you want to engage with the enemies, and I love it. I love that. I love that so very much. Cleric Beast is a good, simple introductory fight because it makes you push forward. Like, if you try to back off and watch the Cleric Beast, it kind of won't let you after a while, right? The Cleric Beast will insist that you face it down. Father Gascoigne, if you run away from Father Gascoigne, he will chase you with a blood-furious fervor that the game expects you to later emulate. If you back off against the Witches of Hemwick, you literally cannot fight them. So the first handful of bosses, the first 3 bosses of the game, teach you to push forward, teach you to fight the way the game is best played. And that's beautiful. It's incredible. 1, because it doesn't let you not. 1, because it will continue to harass you otherwise. And 1, because, well, it'll punch you in the bloody face. Manito Boar wasn't a boss. These are just enemies, huh? The Shadows of Yharnam is honestly, it's right up there with Maria and Astorius. Shadows of Yharnam is straight up one of my favorite fights in the entire series, and I regret the fact that I can't just queue up to fight Shadows of Yharnam over and over and over solo, because it's so much different with 2 players. It's just a completely different battle. I want to grind Shadows of Yharnam. I want to grind Shadows of Yharnam for drops. I don't even know what the drops are. I just want the game to say, fight Shadows of Yharnam 16 times, and I will say, yes, I would love to do that. That's one advantage that Monster Hunter has, is that you can, if you like a fight, you can just go back into that fight and do it again. The only other way I could fight Shadows of Yharnam was to wait for one of my friends to get to that part of the game and then play it with them. Bloodstarved Beast was a cool fight. I like the way that mechanically worked. I did play Bloodborne on the channel. I'm sure many of you have realized this, but I do have my full first playthrough of Bloodborne available anytime you guys want to watch it. So look out for that. Look out for that. The Dark Beast was fun too. Yeah, Shadows of Yharnam, just my favorite fight. Rom is good, but I feel like it was a bit of a DPS check, which is kind of annoying. But beautiful arena. Honestly, best arena of any Souls game goes to Rom Vacuous Spider. The old one is a weird fight. I think I looked through that and I don't actually know how. Like, I genuinely do not know how I beat the One Reborn. Because I went in there and I beat it on my first try and I learned nothing. I'm not going to say it's luck because I am amazing at video games and very cool. And yeah. But I have no idea how I beat that boss. And I haven't gone back and fought it since. Bloodborne really is the Dark Souls of FromSoft games. It's true. It's true. It's not... hold on. You know what? I'm tweeting that. I am quoting you. I am not going to source you unless you like really care about that. I am tweeting that. Bam. Done. It's done. That line is just so perfect. Bloodborne really is the Dark Souls of FromSoft games. Wow. That quote is going to live rent-free in my head for months. I am not going to be able to escape that quote. Mega's Wetness was another really good fight. I don't know, I feel like I've covered a bunch of the stuff I wanted to say. Oh yeah, Gurman. Lady movie was amazing. Orphan of Kos was just annoying. Real talk, the Orphan of Kos was less fun and more annoying because his damage is tuned so high that it's just not pleasant to face. Now, Lady Maria's damage is tuned very high, but it doesn't feel unfair. Orphan of Kos feels unfair. Just because of the way of Lady Maria's movement and animations very well reflect what the fight is and how the fight goes. Orphans of Kos's animations and movement undersell how fast and how powerful it is. I don't know, I just feel like the Orphan of Kos fight is not as effective. Okay, so it's time to talk about Sekiro. Did they actually do a Sekiro one? Oh yeah, they did. Heck yeah. I tweeted it without the E, and it's canon now. That's just happening. That's just not going to change. Okay, so. I don't know who these nerds are. I'm not going to go piece by piece on this because I didn't get... How far did I get? I beat this one. Oh, wait. That one... One of these is a scripted death. I beat the ogre. I beat the guy on horseback. I guess it's this guy. How far did I beat Jozo. Jozo was a tough fight. Now, the problem is... Madame Butterfly was really hard. I didn't get past Raging Bull. I got past Madame Butterfly and didn't beat the Raging Bull. Now... What happened to me in that game is actually very simple. The game teaches you how to stealth, and I love it. I love the stealth mechanics. The stealth mechanics feel good, and you can stealth kill bosses. It's great. It's phenomenal, it's fun, it's engaging. And then I realized that I didn't know how to fight bosses. I didn't know the actual combat in Sekiro. I just didn't understand it. The game didn't teach me how to fight bosses. As a result, I became at a loss. Like, how do I deal with this big bull? I don't know. I mean, I brute forced Madame Butterfly and the drunkard just by learning their moves over and over and over again. But like the thing is, I just didn't know my mechanics well. I just didn't know because I hadn't been practicing the sword. I wasn't using the sword. I was using the sword as an instant kill knife. I was using the sword as an instant kill knife for most of the game. And I don't regret it because that's how I enjoyed playing it, but I was completely stumped at the bosses. No, wait, I did beat the bull. I did beat the bull in the next section. Had a bunch of enemies that ignore stealth that you cannot stealth past. And I just stopped caring because I didn't care about it. I just wanted to do the stealth stuff. Yeah, right after the bull, there's a whole bunch of enemies on rooftops that engage you and can see you from infinite range. And it's like, well, I'm no longer having fun with this, so gonna move on. Gonna move on. Yeah. That's what happened to me on there. It's a lot like what happened in Deus Ex. In Deus Ex Human Revolution, you can play clean hands. And in whenever a stealth game offers that as a realistic choice to play without killing anybody, I do it. I played through Deus Ex with clean hands until I got to that the point in the game where I had to fight a boss, and stealth weapons don't work on bosses, at least on the 1.0 patch, which I was playing on. So what happened? Well, I had to beat a boss. And I couldn't. I just couldn't beat the boss. Because I didn't have a non-stealth weapon. I just did not have a single weapon that was capable of hurting the boss. None. None. So I moved on, and okay, I guess I need to back out and get a shotgun or something, because the tranq darts don't work on him, the taser doesn't work on him, the tranquilizer doesn't work on him, and I can't stealth KO him. I had to completely play and learn a different game for the boss fight than I was playing for the rest of the game, and it felt bad. It felt very bad. I did go back and I beat it, and they patched the game later on to allow stealth engagement on bosses. But, like, that soured me to that game, and that's what happened to me on Sekiro, except when Sekiro, I didn't have it in me to go back. I just didn't. So I stopped, because I couldn't stealth through the regular game either at that point, so I moved on. You need to play Ghost of Tsushima for that stealth feel. I want to. Actually, I really do want to, genuinely. Ghost of Tsushima has been on my radar for a very long time. And I do have access to a PlayStation 4 now, so I can play it. And I should, at some point. But, I mean, come on. We have Elden Rings first. Elden Ring comes out this week, and we're going to deal with that next. Which I am very, very excited for. Tomorrow is going to be... Okay, guys. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a scam video. It's going to be great. Tomorrow is going to be a video titled "Is This Elden Ring?" But I'm actually going to be playing Bloodborne for the PlayStation downgrade. Jade, for that stealth feel, you need to quit YouTube and become a ninja. I am a ninja. I mean, I unironically, legitimately, am a 3rd degree black belt in Bujinkan Taijutsu, which is the modern teachings of classical ninjutsu. So, I am. They're not sure what to tell you on that one. Because, yeah, I've already got that. Fifth dawn, I will need to head to Japan and take the test that where they, take the Godon test, which will be extraordinarily difficult. But the only reason I didn't do that last year was because of the plague. So, yeah, I actually am a ninja. Like, unironically. I mean, that's... Yeah, it's just straight up. Yeah, so there is that. I got that going for me. And it's kind of funny because in Sekiro, I actually could recognize some of the moves. Like, oh, that's a reference to this. Oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, that's I got that covered. I need to get back to training, but I don't. The world, just the world right now. You know what I'm saying? Just the world right now. So tomorrow, look out for that beautiful scam video. Seriously, it's gonna be really clickbaity title. I'm going full clickbait for tomorrow. It's gonna be super dumb, but it's gonna be fun. And then Friday is going to be Elden Ring. So Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday is going to be all Elden Ring. And I'm gonna figure out what I'm doing with the rest of my schedule kind of on the fly. Because I have other games I want to play out, and I'm enjoying troubleshooters. Okay, just officially, we're moving on to the channel update, channel status part of this stream, which I had planned on doing. I like troubleshooters, but most people haven't heard of it. And for a VTuber who's my size, because I'm tiny, right? I'm a small VTuber right now. I hope to get bigger. I'm working on getting bigger. But I ain't there yet, right? And troubleshooters, well, it's a lot of fun, isn't pulling the numbers I need to grow. I'm not big enough to play games that I want just for fun. That's the sad truth. That's the honest-to-goodness sad truth of being a VTuber right now, is that I can't play the games that I just want to play. I need to play games that are going to help me grow my channel. When I have 30,000 subscribers, I can play whatever I want, and it'll still be I'll still have enough people following me, and I'll still be able to be a full-time streamer, and I'll be able to put more time and effort into all of my things, and I'll have a big enough base that I will have quote-unquote made it, and I can play games that have slightly worse metrics because I'm still there. And I'm not there yet. So as much as I love troubleshooters, I think I'm going to have to shelve it and come back to it on a once-in-a-while basis. And also, Final Fantasy VI is coming out, and I don't know if that's going to pull numbers. I honestly don't think it will either. But that game is so meaningful to me. Final Fantasy VI is a very meaningful game to me. That game means a lot to my heart. It really, really does. And yeah, I grew up with that game. That game came out when I was in Redacted, so I want to play it. I want to voice it. I want to experience it again. I used to play it almost every year. I haven't played it for a couple of years now. It won't be a new experience. I still know the game back and forth, but I want to play it again. I want to experience it again, and I want, more than anything, I want to share that experience with people who enjoy it and who enjoy me. I want to present that experience to my friends who are going to see it for the first time. That's something that means a lot to me. That's something that seems a lot... Yeah, means a lot to me. It's better to switch things up. Most people are interested in watching a full 80-hour game start to finish. I think that a lot of people are. I mean, I hope so, because my YouTube channel is based on, the idea of playing through narrative games, so I kind of hope people are. And historically, if I look through my past metrics, longer series have done well in the past. It's weird lately because I did that little sidebar into Twitch to see how things go, and I'm still going to be doing more stuff on Twitch. But if I'm looking at like Metroid Dread, people stayed through the entire time, and that was how many episodes? That was a whole bunch of episodes. Or Prey, people stuck around for all of Prey. The metrics on the later Prey episodes were almost as good as the early ones. I think that a lot of people are willing to stick around for that, but I don't think that people are going to stick around for a game that they've never heard of. I don't think that people are going to stick around in the same way for troubleshooters as they would for Metroid Dread or Prey. Or even Soma, for that matter. So I want to push into... So I do want to play more of it because I am enjoying that game, and I enjoy the XCOM style. But Elden Ring is going to be a priority, obviously. And I think I might just do troubleshooters now and again. Once in a while, I will dip into troubleshooters, unless it starts going gangbusters. Unless that game starts doing extraordinarily well, in which case, yeah, no, I'll be glad to play it. I want to play it, but for now, I need to focus on what's good for the channel, right? And right now, that's going to be Elden Ring. I hope that's Final Fantasy VI. My goodness. In all of your summer vids, just label them better Bioshock. And yeah, we have a lot of cool things coming out on the horizon. I have been working tirelessly on a video that's probably not going to be ready for another week, that you guys are just going to have to look forward to, because it's going to be incredible. There's a video coming up soon that's going to be really, really good. So you got to look forward to that one. What is it? Oh, don't worry about that. It'll be great. All right. Was there anything else we want to? Do you have any people have questions about things, or people have questions about, or thinking about brain thoughts on stuff? What are your brain thoughts, friends? What are your brain thoughts? In a way, I have to. In a way, I'm still recovering from switching over to Twitch for a few weeks. But I am going to keep on playing like Valorant, Bloons, stuff like that. I'm gonna be doing more stuff on Twitch. I'm gonna be active on Twitch. YouTube is gonna be for story games, and story games, as you guys know, is frankly my priority. YouTube is what I enjoy doing most. It's all the games that I cherish. And yeah, Twitch is going to be chill vibes with Kobold Times. It's going to be more relaxed, much more relaxed games. And then, yeah, I'm going to try to do more edited stuff. So look forward to it. I think that's about it. That's everything I wanted to cover today. Just a chill stream talking about various Souls games for a hot minute. I hope you guys had a good time. And I will see all of you friends soon. Cheers.